and this makes people, especially people who don't like the Jewish people, claim that the Jewish people have corrupted the text here and inserted into the text that Isaac is the only son, and that we're trying to cover up that Ishmael was one of Abraham's sons. Besides the fact that that doesn't make sense anyway, because we're not idiots and we know this text way better than, we read it in Hebrew and study it every single day. If we're actually trying to cover up the fact that Abraham had a son named Ishmael, we would have deleted it everywhere and certainly wouldn't have left it in the same few chapters that we're reading right here. Come on. So you will see, if you look in Genesis chapter 22 verse 2, it doesn't just say your only son. If it were to say your only son in the sense of you have no other son, it would have said ethbinecho hayohid, alright? But it doesn't. It says ويمرقحنو ethbinecho ethyahidecho. It doesn't say ethbinecho hayohid, but ethbinecho ethyahidecho. They're two distinct issues. One is the fact that he's a son, and the other is the fact that he is special or unique. Alright? And you also find in the continuation of the chapter in chapter 22 verse 16, there you find that it says Et yahidecho, your unique one, without any connection to him being a son, which is correct. His uniqueness is not in that he was the only son. It's not stated anywhere here. It's only a matter of people being ignorant of the text. By the way, look in the translations, you'll see that it often separates son and only with a comma, because they both have et coming before them, each of these two words in Hebrew, which means that they're not connected. Right. So in 22 verse 16, you see that it is independent of the fact that he is a son. That is not the unique aspect, because Abraham did have other sons. We do not deny that. So how is he unique among Abraham's sons? From a biblical perspective, he's unique among his sons in that it is in Isaac that Abraham's seed would be called. Alright? It is in Isaac that the posterity of Abraham would be called. This is not in denial of the fact that he has other seed. We find that in chapter 21 verse 12. I will read that to you now. See, this is Hebrew and Russian. I don't read Russian, I only know English and Hebrew. I'm trying to learn Arabic, but I'm not quite there yet. Russian, I don't know if I'll ever know. So, yeah. Verse 12, chapter 21. ويمر إلهيم إلى أبرهم الإيرع بعناخو علهنا عرو على أمثاخو كر أشرت مر لا خسرو شمع بقلو. All right. And Abraham and the venerable authority said to Abraham, don't let it be destructive or bad in your eyes that the na'ar, all right, that the adolescent of the maidservant, that is Ishmael, don't let the maidservant's adolescent son that he is not going to inherit the status of being called the posterity be a bad thing in your eyes. But all that Sarah says to you, you should listen to her voice. For in Isaac your seed shall be called. In Isaac your posterity should be called. By the way, I just noticed this. Here in the same verse it describes Ishmael, the son of the maidservant, as Na'ar. Alright? And in the very next chapter, chapter 22, where they want to say we're ignoring the fact that Abraham had other sons, besides all that I've already said, it does in fact mention that Abraham left his two adolescents, clearly other than Isaac, behind as he went forward to bind Isaac to the altar. Where is that? Maybe I should just leave it up to you guys to find it. Yeah, here it is. In verse 3, and Abraham arose in the morning, right, and he saddled his donkey, and he took his two adolescents with him, and and Yitzhak, and Isaac, his son. All right. Now, what does it mean that in Isaac his seed will be called? Because in chapter 21, verse 12, it says that in Isaac his posterity or seed will be called. But the very next verse, it acknowledges Ishmael. And also the son of the maidservant. For a nation I will place him, for he is also your seed. Okay? So what is special about Isaac that's mentioned here in this verse and in the next chapter? And then we find in chapter 17, verse 18 through 21, regarding the establishment of the covenant of circumcision in connection to the land, the promised land. Alright, here it is. And Abraham said before the venerable authority, would it be that Ishmael would live before you? And the venerable authority said, but to Sarah your wife will be born for you a son, and you shall call his name Ishak, Isaac. And I shall establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant, to his seed, Alright? And then it says in the next verse regarding Ishmael, again not ignoring Ishmael, but Ishmael has a different mission in the world, and he is clearly also blessed of the Almighty and does have a purpose in this world, but it is a different purpose. And for Ishmael, I have heard you, the venerable authority continues saying, behold, I have blessed him, and I have caused him to be fruitful, and to make him multiply, exceedingly greatly. 12 princes or leaders shall he give birth to. Shall he cause to be born, and I have placed him for a great nation. Alright? So he is blessed, but it is not the covenant of circumcision in connection to the land that makes Isaac unique. As it continues after saying this regarding Ishmael, it reiterates regarding Isaac, but my covenant I will establish with Isaac, that Sarah will give birth for you, at this appointed time in a different year. Alright? Now, I would like to just mention that despite the fact that the covenant is established with Isaac as an everlasting covenant, this is not a racial exclusive nation that would be established. Anybody who comes here to this land can see that this is one of the most multicultural, racially diverse places in the world. Jews from Africa, Jews from all over the Middle East, from Europe, from China and India. And by the way, the majority here are from the Middle East. But we see in the Torah given to Moses, the law of Moses, that any individual who chooses to join the people of Israel can join the people of Israel. It's simply that they're not obligated to. The 613 commandments given in the Torah of Moses, the law of Moses, are only obligatory by birth to those born among the people of Israel. But any other individual outside of the nation of Israel is obligated in the laws of Noah. However, if they choose voluntarily to join the people of Israel, they are no different from the native born, as it says in Numbers chapter 15, verse 15, that one law and one judgment shall be for you, the native born Israelite, and for the sojourner who immigrates among you, as an everlasting statute. Torah Adonai Tamimo Meshivat Nofash. The instruction, the Torah of the Lord is whole, restoring the soul.